You can go ahead and close the door, please, George. No, the other one's outside, yes. I mean, if you want to use Tori's computer, worst case.
No, but it's no. But if I okay now, it's good.
Come on.
You recording it, Party?
Huh?
Are you recording it?
All right, you're on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that doesn't work with this. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of funny when people cry about real time too, because obviously even cases like this, you know, the first passes through about 2 seconds after, and it sounds annoying when you see it. I need to think of the same correlation with all the crime that went on, you know, a few months ago. I can hear all that very loudly. All you're moving with your paper, so you know if you can do that new. Sorry, can you have her number right, her phone number? Can you have her phone number? Sorry, we'll give it 6 minutes first, no? I'll call her in 2 minutes. We need to start yelling at these people in case that's wasting their time. Seriously.
So do you have her phone?
I have her number. I'm going to wait 2 minutes. I think 08 is fair. Because, I mean, some people, if they're struggling to get on or something, they can take under 10, but over 10 minutes, it's not coming. So it looks like Nate, I mean, I know Nate's very organized, probably storing a lot more things than we really. When he told me it was coming, I mean, he would have to plan on the spot. I'm assuming he probably knows. You might as well think for a minute. He said 9 out of 15 in case cancel this week. So that meant we were 6 for 15.
So more than half.
So 40 you get a little less than
So yeah, as a whole, I think 50% that's fine. They just don't know how to adjust to it. I mean, this is why when we hesitate about double, triple,
double.
triple them. If worst case, we're not a we don't make it, we get over the
That's okay. Or we reschedule with them.
Computer or something. Earthquake, California, we have one. Internet's down for 20 minutes.
Well, we don't have to. Like them, actually, whenever they don't show up or something, like the meeting I had to cancel on the one with Australia, because we're meeting with Ricardo.
My only concern is in even cases like the Lockheed, I mean, I feel like we almost have to say we're willing to go in person to allocate.
We are willing, but there is nothing wrong.
The thing is, we would have had that meeting tomorrow.
Why?
Because, I mean, if someone says yes, come in, sorry, that's what you emailed him, right, Corey? Lockheed, he said yes, I can come in, then you said sorry, then we emailed him back and said sorry, actually we're not in person, so you take a while out, right? Basically, I mean, what we said is better there. Okay. Then he didn't respond. So the point is, we lost that because
This is
for February. 21st March working day. Come back on options.
Okay.
I have heard.
You have it on your follow. All right, great. Never mind. So,
if they say no, we don't take, fine, we'll try. I mean,
all right, come to follow.
but there is, I mean, just to see what do you do, you don't fly. I do that's okay.
And now if someone struggles to get on the computer too, I think we can start talking. So, you know what? We can just text it later or just chat. Let me know if she jumps on. 646-915. Seven one. And she pushed it forward this morning, right? Didn't she move it forward this morning? No. That's crazy. It's weird that call went to a default automatic messaging system. Or did you email me that email this morning? I'm assuming, Corey?
Yeah, 9:13. She didn't propose her time earlier.
Are we wrong about something? Did you know?
Hi guys, I'm sorry I'm running late.
Yes, no problem. Good morning, Cardi, and thank you for joining us for this meeting. This is Inad, and I have Patrick with me.
Great.
I hope that you're not having a very hectic morning.
That I'm what?
No, I said I hope that your morning is not very hectic.
Well, unfortunately, they always are.
Yeah, you could go ahead and bite your tongue on that one. I like that for all of us.
Okay, Carly. First of all, I would like to just ask you, a few questions about your role in the organization and your goals, as far as e-commerce are concerned with Antaylor and Loft and the like. What can you tell me about?
Let's see, what can I tell you? Well, I'm the VP of Digital Marketing for Ann Taylor and Loft. And I've been here a little over 2.5 years. We've had a lot of exciting initiatives over the past few years. We were platformed a year and a half ago to ATG. We just launched something called multi-channel fulfillment. And, you know, I think it's been a high growth area of the company, and everything's going really well.
Well, that's great. That's great.
That's great.
Patrick,
Patrick, go ahead.
So first, Carly, is when you say Ann Taylor and Loft, am I on the, do you see my screen? I'm on AnnTaylor.com. I'm going to guess that's the wrong website.
No, I oversee marketing for Ann Taylor and Loft.
Oh, okay. So that's I thought Ann Taylor and Loft was a branch of that. So that's the parent company name.
Ann Inc. is the parent company. Ann Taylor is one brand, and Loft is the other big brand.
Okay.
And in fact, Loft is much bigger than Ann Taylor, not online, but in volume, in store volume.
Okay, great. So online-wise, is Ann Taylor then where you primarily oversee the e-commerce? Is that the most relevant website?
What is it?
The one I have up, AnnTaylor.com?
Yeah, no, we have two sites.
Okay.
We
I'm
have
sorry.
Ann Taylor. We have Ann Taylor and Loft.
And Loft is loft.com, or what's the link to
Yeah,
that?
yeah, loft.com.
Okay. On both those sites, what's your what are you guys currently seeing as your struggles, website traffic-wise? You know, what is your primary conversion rate usually on this site, aside from purchases?
What is our conversion rate?
And what is your primarily conversion goal on a site aside from, I would think off the top of my head, either creating an account to sell later or to make direct purchases?
Sorry, there's a little echo on the call, so I'm having trouble totally hearing everything. But,
I was just asking for your general goals from the site, what you guys are currently struggling with on the e-commerce end, what you're trying to improve on your end.
well, we're always making tweaks and improvements, and we have a whole list of 2013 initiatives, you know, to increase performance and usability and conversion. And to just you know, continuously you know, innovate to be competitive.
Okay. All right. So you guys are, sounds just from that description, you guys are pretty forward-thinking online-wise with usability and initiatives to improve the conversion rate of your site. That's a big priority, I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, you yourself in the marketing end, do you deal with your analytics or any kind of intelligence technologies you guys are currently using directly,
Yeah.
or is that more on the tech end of your company?
It depends. Like my site analyst reports into me. I have a VP of CRM as well, and who oversees the database for the entire company. And yeah, so that's
Okay,
kind of
that's
how.
good. Are you familiar with what tools you guys are currently using, at least on the top level for analysis? What your sales analyst is using to deliver the reports?
Well, yeah, I mean, we use Omniture, and we actually just launched Epsilon today. I mean, how specific did you want to get?
That was enough. If you guys use Omniture, that's biggest company we've been taking business from, to be blunt. That's the best starting point. So you guys are fairly sophisticated in what you're doing online, the manipulations, the targeting, the tagging, the pushing content. I'm just guessing, depending on what modules you're using. Yeah, that's enough information for me. It's really knowing if you're on a Google Analytics, more basic analytics level, or the Omnitures and the IBMs, which are usually more sophisticated. So.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let me tell you, what do you know about us based on, I know this meeting, as far as I know, was set up through an internal contact. What did you hear about our company from your end?
Nothing. I know nothing.
Okay.
This was a big favor. I don't usually do things like this. I think that you came through Buck. Wait, was it Buck? Did you come through? Who did you come through? Do you remember?
I believe Wade?
Oh, Wade.
Correct. Is that someone within your legal staff?
No, Wade is. I think he's in store ops or something.
Okay. Yeah, and in that case, I'll keep it. No, I wanted to know the R&D. This is definitely my first.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't usually take calls like this, but I thought I would as a favor, and it's always good to. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Carly. Anyway, we appreciate the fact that you gave us this time. If we can have just a few minutes candid discussion just to show you some of the capabilities that we can add on to what you have now, specifically Omniture and similar very high-end products. Just because our company has come up invented actually new tools that augment the effects and all the benefits that other products on the market, and I'm talking top-line product offer to e-commerce businesses. So if you can be patient for only very few minutes, Patrick is going to go over some of the differentiators that we believe could add when they are used in conjunction with the products you have.
Okay.
So long story short, it's a 10-minute capability overview. Interrupt me at any time to ask questions, and our conclusion, next step on your end, will be how you're currently utilizing and what you see as the main, potential benefits for us to fine-tune a follow-up discussion. So.
Great.
Okay, so Oopgo, we're a digital marketing intelligence company. The reason we're talking is we invented the first online-based technology that captures the entire user experience on websites as its own individual data record. What that means when we mention the entire user experience, if you're typing on a, first off, you see my screen right now, you see what's going on? CAR? Okay, so if you're typing on a form, if I'm moving around, writing different information, current technologies allow, once you click the submit button, that's when you guys get notified on your end, and you kind of start your analytics and conversion process. Our technology is storing every individual keystroke. It's storing the time in between every mouse movement, every action, every click stream on the site. And through doing that, it allows us to, on a macro level, get a lot deeper to understand the behavior behind purchasing decisions. So in this example here, this is a bank example. If you were to choose a number of investable assets on a bank site, a high-value conversion, and you were to make 3 different choices before submitting your information, we've classified that as a confidence level of how confident you are in that decision. So that's kind of how we use this on a practical level to mention what the 1,000 times the data of the Omnitures, the Googles, the other products on the markets are currently using. So it gives us a finer tuned sword to dig down into higher target segments, whether or not you're doing targeting for specific clients or if you're just looking at data as a whole.
Okay.
The other example of that for this form example is on your current website, anytime someone enters in information, if someone goes on your site and let's say they type in their email address, they type in, they're about to register for your site and they press X and they leave. Our technology would store that as an abandoned visit, including the information that they typed in. So you guys, what we're currently doing, the usual case for companies, they would have an automatic trigger to contact the client before they submitted it to say, you guys struggle on our site. So that allows you to target a lot of your abandoned customers at a much higher rate. Does that, did that analogy make pretty straightforward to you? Did that make sense, Carly? When we're talking about the differences in the storage, what's happening on the page, all the subtle movements being searchable basically with all of your other tools.
Yeah. Do you work with any retailers?
Yeah, currently we've been out on the market for approximately 3 months. We have we do competitive intelligence. I can't give out. We can send you a very relevant case study for a specific retailer, but I don't have permission. We usually don't share our current client base. So that's that. But I can send that as a follow up. What's relevant.
And are you looking to be a competitor to Omniture?
Well, yeah, we're in the same world as Omniture. I mean, basically, they do a lot of advanced manipulation of current analytics data. What we do is we're storing 1,000 times the data they are, and we're also, the second end of the coin here is you can watch everything that happens on your individual sites directly in every view you see. So our technology lets you see the complete view from a data perspective as well as watching to reiterate and understand what happens with customers. So yeah, no, I mean, Omniture is our competitor, but we've been complementing them in a lot of cases because in their case with an organization of your size, yeah, it's a pretty detailed build on their end, so removing the code we've been adding on as complements. So.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, the other end of the coin here, I don't know if you're familiar with any similar technology that replays everything that's done on your individual visits. You guys, are you familiar with anything? You guys use any kind of initiative like that?
Like what? Excuse me?
What I'm showing you here is an example of what's played on your actual site. So all of your current data, stats, someone fills out a form, you can replay it. Do you guys use anything similar along those lines?
I mean, we capture everything in Omniture, and my analyst does pretty similar, pretty sophisticated funnel analysis, but
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, Omniture doesn't have the capability. So in addition to the storage and the data analysis, I'm just showing you this on the top level. Everything's supported with a direct playback on each individual customer session, each visit, each page view, which So, really the biggest part, you brought up conversion funnels. The biggest practical usage for enterprise companies are digging deeper into conversion funnel. You guys might see, why would someone fill out the first, second, third page of our sales form to buy, a high-end product? Why would they leave after filling out that information? And you find out it's 3% of people who are abandoning that process. Usually, you get that number, and you kind of got to go back to the drawing board to figure out how to fix that number and make it smaller because you might not, through general data, you might not get the whole picture of why they left. In our case, you can click on those people individually. I have conversion analysis open. You can click on those from the funnel view. You can go directly to answer the question of why. Why did that person leave? And in this example I show you here, we had a on-page error that happened to show up that we discovered in our conversion process to know that our marketing team, it's not their fault, it's the tech team's fault, to be blunt, because people like throwing out, a lot of different scenarios to understand why things happen.
Can you collapse issues like, let's say you're seeing, I don't know, let's say you have 100 people on your site and 40% of them are getting error issues. Can you see which ones are all the same and lump them together and be like, okay, these 20 people all had the same issue?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or
do you have
to and look at each unique instance and then come up with a number?
No, macro-based analysis is all of the traditional. We can do it on both bases. That was just an example of digging deep on an individual example. So yeah, we can do things on the macro level. The big difference on the macro level comes down to, in our case, you could look up all of the people who moved on your who went through a purchase process and moved for more than 5 seconds on your security seal, then left. The practical use case in that example is to know that these people may have hesitated because they were not clear of your payment processor. You can group those people together and look them up in a variety of ways. I usually don't dig that deep on an intro. We kind of show the basis to answer a few of the questions, and from there, any of the challenges on your end, I'm more than welcome to address.
Do people leverage you guys to do testing, or do they just implement, it's like ongoing?
Well, what we do is, a lot of the larger companies, if they're already tied in, someone like you guys probably have a lot of tools and build behind them. They're using us in specific modules only for usability testing to maybe understand and uncover what their customers are doing. The other end, I mean, we do offer a complete analytics offering with about, I think we have about 25 different modules right now. You know, so to be honest, it's similar to the Omniture option, other than we're storing 1,000 times more data than them. We can dig deeper, and then we can show the data on the front. But a lot of the larger companies aren't willing to take that big of an investment based on our early stage, and they'll want to try it out to fix specific problems on their site and conversion processes. So to even have cut to the chase on your end, our primary call to action would be a potential pilot on a couple pages where we would show you how much value can be added to all of the information that you were unable to detect with current technology. Where our end goal would be full-out adoption, but I know how much time and resources go into those kind of things on the analytic build end. So,
do you know who BrightTag is?
I'm vaguely familiar. I'm guessing we have a built-in tagging system. Is that can we tag clients? Was that the question?
There are tag. We use them for tag management.
Yeah, we have tagging built in, and based on that, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, so you have your own tag management?
We have our own tag management, but we can integrate with any third-party CRM, any third-party tag management, etc. So we have everything built into one data source, which, all things being perfect, is the much better way to do it than using a lot of products. But in scenarios where you guys wouldn't be comfortable switching over, we can use theirs. So.
And then what kind of costs how are you thinking about charging for this?
Our costs are variable based on traffic. Our long story short costs, I don't know what your guys' traffic is. We have 5K starting for companies, and that's usually at the million page views a month level. That usually requires a setup cost that's hourly, that's on average between 20 to 25 hours. And to be perfectly honest about that as well, we're willing to price match against Omniture, and we're willing to, in any case, we're usually a little bit less than they are, and we also can move a lot faster when it comes to the hours used for the initial build. It's a 3-week setup process. Enterprise your size, we usually change that to a 3-month model, but that's the long story short. It's all based on page views, and then customizations and builds are done hourly. So.
Okay.
Do you know your monthly page views off the top of your head, Carly?
I know my visitors off the top of my head. My page views. Hold on a second.
That's per month, yeah, but either one matters.
Well, you don't want to know. I mean, this is December with 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one site.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's really a detail we could have. No, I mean, I did. We also do. We have a different offering on competitive intelligence end where we get pretty good, accurate estimates of traffic for websites online. So I was guessing that you guys were somewhere in the 50 to 70 million range on a whole on the two. But that's a further detail to have.
For the year, just for Ann Taylor, we're on fiscal. Calendar starts in February, so but just year to date through December, we're more like, I mean, I guess we'll probably be about 500 million page views for the year.
500 million page views for the year?
500 million, yeah. So just times that times 2, that.
You were referring when you say times 2. Yeah, no, I mean, we've serviced over 1 billion page views a month. We have the build. I mean, we have to build a custom server for anything above 1 million. That's why I referenced that starting point. So that's not outside of the range. It just kind of changes what the focus would be, because you wouldn't want videos needed for everyone on your site. You might only want them created for cases where it's trying to figure out what's going on, which makes the cost lower on both ends. So I'll tell you.
I would love for you to do is talk to my site analyst. I mean, she's my expert in this area, and I really defer to her. She's been doing this forever. She's actually a consultant to our company. She works with lots of different companies. She's very facile in Omniture and Core Metrics and Google Analytics, you name it. I think she would be really interested to see this. I'd love to get her opinion on it.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me too. That's usually, you have these discussions, it's open up, you never know who deals with those details. So unless you're rushed, Carl, if I can show you a couple more modules I think may be relevant based on, I get you don't need to understand, the data manipulation, what you guys can see, but just a couple other innovations that might be more applied to the marketing end. You have a few more minutes for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of our differentiators, we have a couple patents pending on this. Aside from all the analysis and, what we're showing for deeper analysis to upgrade analytics, we invented a technology that allows, on all of your customers, you can focus in on live traffic on a macro basis. So in your guys' case, you could use your tagging system and say, this guy's a high-value customer because they've made 50 purchases in the last 3 months. In the last month, they visited my site 5 times and haven't made a purchase. I want to get a closer look at what they're doing. So this scenario has 5 users for a specific segment. You could view everything they're doing live, as if, you were looking over their shoulder on their computer, accompanied by tags or any other data that we store or provide. You can also, we have, by default chat integrated there, but you can push any kind of content you want on a live basis. So if you wanted to pop up to say 50% off, nice long-time client, on issues that you wanted to take a closer look at, we exclusively offer this technology, to bring the analytics to life and use it on the sales and customer servicing end as well. Aside from that, from this view, I click View Details in that case. What we've been providing for retailers on a customer servicing standpoint, once again, is this example is a view of every visit on your site has this record created with our site. So the long story short of it is from the exact same view, you can dig into a customer's past history and sessions for the sake of servicing. If someone says, hey, N Taylor blew up my site 5 visits ago, I swear, or I really didn't pay this price for this product. It just gives very efficient way to go between that customer's history and understand their problems without having to call the tech department and the retail department. The last example, so that's my 3 minutes. The last example, just to understand the path of this, how kind of this product works from a practical standpoint is to know all of the views I've shown, we focus on our differentiators in these pitches. All of the views I've shown when it comes down to individual videos are all directly accessible from a main analytics view, where if you wanted to see something as simple as, let me dig into traffic from Google. Probably shouldn't do this in my testing environment in the future, but what's being pulled up here is basically the way to connect the dots between the macro and micro analysis on what you're supposed to look at. And the views I showed you earlier are set up on a session-by-session, page-by-page, or customer history basis. So you guys can kind of dig around with a lot of access. It's all integrated within the exact same data source on our end, which is one of our biggest differentiators, being a smaller company than the competitors. We have 4 people who build our entire product. So we're able to make changes on the structural level, which makes things much more efficient than what IBM and Adobe purchased Omniture a year and a half ago. They're forced to kind of throw together 1,000 different structures, which allows us to have 1,000 times the information with less of a footprint and less of a load time on the actual interactions themselves. So that's the conclusion on my top level. I just thought the live and the customer service may be relevant in your role aside from your analyst, if that rings any bells for potential use. So, do you have any questions, Carly? Or does it sound like the best next step is to speak to your site analyst? Hello?
Hello?
Sorry, I was talking. I put you on mute for a second, but what I meant to say was, well, what I was saying that you couldn't hear me.
I didn't hear anything. Just let you know. Okay.
But this was more interesting than I thought it would be. I think you have an interesting product. I mean, I definitely would love to put you in touch with my analyst. I just don't know if you guys are big enough for us yet. but why don't you talk to Emily, and we'll see if there's anything that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best next step here. As you said, with organization your size, it wouldn't be trying to tell you that we're going to save your data storage and replace 20 products the first day. It would be a very targeted pilot on specific portions where we would prove the ROI benefit and what the added value. That's usually our approach. But it sounds good to me.
One more thing that I would like to add, saying that usually all the time we see innovation come from the unlikely sources. And so rather than assuming that are we big enough or not, let us prove it by implementing partial, basically features that you could utilize individually. And we definitely are willing to stand in front of anybody else, including core metrics and Omniture and all the other products, because this is a unique opportunity that we can develop things in conjunction, and we can fit it to your size or any size with lots of other benefits.
Great.
Okay. So next step, Carly, is it most practical for you to just send us Emily's information, or for us to send and prompt you to set up a potential meeting if there's a time that works?
Yeah, why don't, do you guys want to send me a quick email, and I'll add in Emily, and then you guys can set up a time to talk to her?
Yeah, that sounds most productive. And for her, the same thing, a web conference it's usually the best first step with anyone who wants to dig deeper, so.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think she'll be really interested, and she has a lot of clients too, so it actually would be good for you guys.
Great. Yeah, and like you said, I understood your struggle to, like you said, usually don't just take someone's word. So I appreciate you getting on here. I'm happy we were able to pique your interest and didn't make it. I know, though, I get these same calls. I have everyone is usually talking about how they have the next sliced bread, and takes a minute to differentiate in the tech world. It's really hard with one, statement or one phrase. You really have to show what happened, so. All right, thanks a lot, Carly. We'll send that your way if you have any other questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Carly, and have a very nice afternoon, and we'll be looking forward to talking to you and Emily at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a very nice weekend.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.